The United Nations says the welfare of those in northwest Syria is of the greatest concern following the earthquakes. The rebel-held region has had little access to aid and hospitals are struggling to find room for new patients. Well, let's talk now to Angela Kearney from UNICEF in Syria. Angela, welcome. Thank you for your time. You're a veteran of crises going back years with a long and distinguished service. What do you make of what you've seen? How does this compare?
It's very devastating because it's the middle of winter, and so with winter comes many more challenges. And it was 4:15 in the morning in an area in a part of Syria that's really been affected by conflict for the last 11 years. And so there were many displaced and many poor already, and certainly a lot of very vulnerable children. So it's really tipped very vulnerable people into absolute disaster.
Can you give us a snapshot, give us a sit rep on what you've seen since you arrived? What has struck you most?
So I'm in Aleppo, in the government-controlled side, and was here during the earthquake. And then at that time, it was bewilderment for the children and nowhere for them to go, the ones who were in the buildings, the ones who survived the collapsed buildings. And now back again here 10 days after, and many of the people are living in shelters, so they're living in schools or mosques or churches or sports stadiums, and there's no possibility for them to move out of those schools yet because there's no alternative accommodation. As well as those many people have gone to relatives and gone into the countryside, into other buildings, some of them quite actually severely cracked, and these are families who are taking in extra people and they were already poor themselves. So it's putting an extra strain on vulnerable populations already.
What work is your team conducting, your teams conducting? What are they doing or trying to do?
So I was today in a shelter, and it was with children there and sleep there at night in the school. But in the day we had clowns, we had puppets, we had other psychosocial support, really letting the children play and get some normalcy. As well as that, of course, we have been involved in distributing supplies. I delivered today to a maternity hospital here midwife kits that were flown in from Copenhagen on Tuesday, on the road to Aleppo yesterday, and with midwives as we speak. The doctors at this hospital told me that they had 10% extra deliveries in the first 48 hours after the earthquake, because many women went into labour early, so they've got premature babies as well now.
It's good to hear you're getting children to play. We're also hearing reports of children digging through the rubble in parts of the affected areas. I mean, what degree of assistance do you think Syria has received so far? What's your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of us had warehouses, and certainly in northwest Syria, UNICEF had a lot of supplies ready there to go. But in a disaster like this, the warehouses empty so quickly. Planes are flying in, boats are on their way, trucks are on their way. But it's just so huge. We were talking just today about diapers, and we had a warehouse full of diapers, but they went, in a day. So it's things like that. We just need to be bringing in the supplies, delivering them. We have teams. It's not UNICEF alone. We're working with other United Nations and, of course, very fabulous community groups of Syrians themselves that are doing so much for their own people.
I guess this is a difficult question, really, but I want to ask you, do children ever recover from something like this and what they've seen?
Yeah, I think, we just need to believe that we can help them with experience from other disasters, whether it was the tsunami in Indonesia or the floods in Pakistan. I think that we have social workers and we have special teachers that can help. It'll be a long time until the aftershocks finish. The children still get quite traumatised, even if a truck passes by. So we've got a lot of work to do with communities to help these kids.
You say it's a long road ahead. What are the main logistical challenges now that aid agencies, NGOs are facing?
So it's housing, to get the people out of the shelters and into safe homes. I think that's the biggest thing. We want the schools to start again. In fact, schools did start in some parts of Aleppo this week, but others haven't been able to start because the buildings are very damaged or they've got people inside the undamaged ones. It's a long term. The destruction is massive.
Angela, good to talk to you. Good luck with your work, and come back on the programme and update us when you can. Angela Kearney from UNICEF in Syria.
Thank you.